Hey there, Kootenai Pirates. We got another chapter with our adventures of Jack and Annie in Dolphins at Daybreak. Now, in our last chapter, Jack and Annie got in a little bit of a situation with a big, big fish underneath the sea. Not just any fish, but a shark. So, we're going to read our next chapter, and I want you guys to think. When we're done with our reading of the chapter, I want you to talk with your mom and dad. And you can even write in your journal about this. But think about what might happen next in our chapter when we finish this reading today. So I want you guys to think about that and just have a talk, have a chit-chat with your mom and dad and talk to them about what you think might happen next in the story. So we're going to read our next chapter titled, Remain Calm. The shark swam behind the coral. Where did it go? Said Annie, peering out the window. It doesn't matter, said Jack. We have to get to the top. More water is coming in, said Annie. Yeah, I know. Come on, faster. Jack ordered the mini sub. Now, even more water was coming in, said Annie. Lots more. Jack looked up. The water wasn't dripping now. It was splurting out. A few seconds, said Jack. Suddenly, the mini sub burst out of the water. It bobbed in the waves like a cork. The ocean sparkled all around it. Safe! Shouted Annie. Jack felt the water rising around his bare feet. Not really, he said. Oops, said Annie. The octopus must have made cracks in the bottom, too. The water was up to their ankles now. Jack looked out. He saw the reef in the distance. The sub can make it. It doesn't look that far, he said. Go, 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 said Annie. She pressed one of the steering keys. Suddenly, the screen went black. What's happening? Said Jack. Annie pressed the key again. Then Jack pressed another picture. Nothing happened. It's dead, said Annie. Oh, great, said Jack. Now the water was up to their knees. I guess we'll have to swim, said Jack. He took a deep breath. Right, said Annie. It's a good thing we had swimming lessons last summer. Right, said Jack, and it's a bad thing we just saw a shark. Jack quickly found the picture of the shark in his book. He read aloud. If you ever see a shark in the water, don't splash. Swim calmly away. Jack closed the book. We better do the breaststroke, said Annie, so we won't splash a lot. Yep, and stay close, said Jack. Very close, said Annie. Her eyes were wide, but she seemed very calm. Jack took a deep breath. He tried to be calm too. He calmly took off his glasses. He calmly put them and the book into his pack. He calmly put his pack on his back. Annie opened the hatch. Be calm, said Annie. She slipped out of the mini sub. Help, Jack said calmly. He held his nose, then calmly lowered himself into the ocean. What do you guys see in the background? Jack moved his arms slowly. He moved his legs slowly. He gently pushed the water out of his way as he did the breaststroke. Calm, calm, he told himself. Annie swam beside him. They headed for the reef. All was calm. Then Jack saw something out of the corner of his eye. A dark fin was zigzagging through the water. It was heading towards them. Jack wanted to splash. He wanted to yell, but he remembered, calm. I better not tell Annie, he thought. She'll stay calmer if she doesn't know. He began to swim faster, then faster. Annie went faster too. They both swam as fast as they calmly could. Sometimes Annie went even faster than Jack, which made him swim faster and faster. Jack was so scared that he wasn't tired at all. He was swimming for his life, and for Annie's life too. He didn't look back to see if the shark was still there. He didn't know or want to know. He just kept his eyes on the treehouse in the distance, and he kept swimming. Jack and Annie swam and swam and swam. It took forever for the treehouse to get just a little closer. Jack realized the reef was farther away than he had thought. He kept swimming, but his arms and legs started to feel heavy. Annie was struggling too. Float, she said, float. Jack and Annie turned onto their backs. They floated the way that they had learned in swimming class. We'll just rest for a minute, Jack thought. Then we'll keep going. But the more Jack floated, the more tired he felt. Soon he was so tired he couldn't even float. He started to sink. Then he felt something. His heart stopped. Something pushed at him in the water. It was slippery and alive. What do you guys think it was? You guys want me to keep reading? Okay. Had the hammerhead caught up with them? Jack shut his eyes and waited for the worst. He waited and waited. Finally, he opened his eyes. In front of him was a shiny gray head. A dolphin's head. The dolphin pushed Jack with his nose. It made happy clicking sounds. Hooray! Cried Annie. Jack looked over at her. She was clinging to the fin of another dolphin. Her dolphin was moving through the water. Jack grabbed the fin of his dolphin. Then the two dolphins swam smoothly through the water, pulling Jack and Annie towards the reef. How about that? Talk about fun. And that's the end of the chapter. So what do you think might happen next with Jack and Annie? Have a conversation with your mom or dad, or journal in your journal book, okay? Illustrate a picture if you want, label the picture, write a few amazing sentences that describe what you think might happen next. All right, guys, I hope you had a good read with me, and I will see you boys and girls tomorrow. Adios.